So, another adventure, another road trip, and another weekend away with me and Sarah. Let's go to Anglesey.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, we finally got to Wales last night. I think it was about midnight we got here. We managed to pull up I think it's just north of, I think we're not, actually I'm not so sure where we are. I think we're Conway. So we've stayed overnight in a little car park I found. It was quite a nice comfortable night. It is 7:15. It's a very early start. I think we're going to be Seakayaking this weekend because we're in Anglesey. We're not actually in Anglesey at the moment, but we're heading to Anglesey later on today. We're going to meet my friend Sue. She's my mentor for my kayaking, etc. She's an absolute badass. She's told me everything I know when she's trying not to kill me. But we're going to head out Seakayaking. We're going to see what's what. The weather's forecast rain today. It's windy and it's warm at the moment, so I'm very surprised that it's not raining yet. But yeah, we're going to have a little look around. We've got this is a lovely place here. It might be a bit windy, but I'll show you around where we are now. This little bay. It's like a little tidal bay we're in. And there's no one around. Little Oswald there. Alright, Ozzy! Yeah! He's happy as Larry. He's just found a stick and a stone and beach. So yeah, and there's it. Right, I'm gonna go back to the van and then we can get ready. See you in a bit.
So while we were walking the dog in the car park in the morning, we came across this commemorative plaque, like a statue. We didn't realise it was to do with the mulberry harbours that were used in Normandy D-Day landings. So the stone commemorates one of the best kept secrets of World War II. It was on this site that concrete sections of the Mulberry Harbour, a complex floating harbour installation which was used for the Normandy D-Day operations on June 6, 1994, were constructed and launched into the River Conway. So the original prototype units were designed by H. Ivory Hughes, Esquire, marine engineer. So this was an area that was used for testing the Mulberry Harbour sections, which is really, really interesting. Well, it was time for me and Sarah to pack up, so we got on our way and headed out to go paddling. So the plan today was to paddle on the Menai Straits. This was Sarah's first time really in any bigger type of water. So we were planning on doing something a little bit easier today for her because the conditions around the rest of the island were not very good. It was quite windy. So we met Sue. So Sue had a plan already in place for us. She knows the island by the back of her hand, so we were totally in her hands for this one. The idea was to paddle a couple of hours before high tide so that we could take advantage of the flatter water before the currents really start to push through into the swirlies. So it was going to be a nice gentle paddle, and so we got to do a little bit of exploring when we were out and about. The Menai Straits is really amazing because it's got so many different buildings at the side of it, and there looks to be a lot of money in there. Some of the houses were amazing, with boat houses, etc. Some of them could have been in Miami the way they were set out, just running right down to the side of the Menai Strait. It was beautiful. I think this paddle was really good for Sarah because we've got a trip planned later on in the year in September. We're going to go to the Summer Isles, and I think it was really good for her just to get the feel of a sea kayak and being out in open water rather than just being stuck in a lake or something really benign. So I think, although it was a nice paddle, it wasn't rough by any means. I think it was good for experience for her. I really enjoyed it as well because it's nice just to do something simple really. Although at the end of the paddle, Sue did decide to take me into the flow to see what the Menai Straits really was like, and to be fair, it was eye-opening. It didn't look fast, but we were definitely moving. The water was moving really quick. It was great just to have a little surf out there, but I think another trip with her, with Sue, sometime again would be brilliant. So we're finally off the water. We had rain coming in quickly, but we decided to try and make the most of the rest of the day. So we thought we'd head to Llandwyn Island, which is just on the southwest coast of Anglesey. So off we went again. Well, what can I say? We decided we were going to go for a walk. It was raining, and I mean raining. But we were here now, so we thought we'd better go for a walk. We've donned our waterproofs and off we went. Oh my god, this was going to be one wet walk. As normal, Forrest Gump was off at 100 mile an hour. It was so wet. My camera mic had somehow messed up because of the rain. I'm not saying we were wet, but I think we could have possibly been dry if we'd have swum to the island. It was still pinging it down. This was a really cool thing. The paths were made up of shells that had just been laid down. It was quite unusual to look at. But it was really easy going underfoot, unlike possibly pebbles or something like that. So Llandwyn Island is a cracking little island just in the southwest of Anglesey. If you ever get a chance to visit Anglesey, just come here, it's gorgeous. It's home to the ruins of St Dwynnian's Church. So St Dwynnian was the patron saint of lovers. So it was not the best day, I don't think, for a romantic walk. Not with this rain, but I suppose it could be in the future. I would think probably on a better day you could probably see further across the headland and to the mainland, maybe towards Snowdonia, etc. But that wasn't going to happen today. But there's some glorious walks around here, definitely one for coming back in summer. I think Sarah's wet herself.
Dry.
Well, I'm wet. Soaking wet, we got back to the van and then we made our way to the campsite. Changed and dry. We cooked dinner and settled down for the night. I think a certain person was rather tired from his full day of walking around. So a slightly different start to yesterday. Lovely and sunny, but very windy today. Isn't it, Sarah?
No.
Windswept, mist-swept and interesting there. We're Little Oz. Yeah, so we've got a bit of a start today. We're going to go head out to South Stack, which is a lighthouse and stuff. We're not paddling it, although I think Sue probably will want to try and kill me on there. Hi, Sue. Yeah, we're going to be heading out there. We're going to go for a bit of a walk out if Sarah's body can cope from it. After a short drive, we arrived at South Stacks. Wow, this place was kicking off. Sue had warned us about the conditions, what they would be out there, and how it would be good for me to go and have a look at, see what they were doing. I think we had a very strong onshore wind with a flooding tide. Oh, the sea looked really, really rough. Gotta say that the coastline is very reminiscent of Flamborough, but on a larger scale.
So we're at South Stack and it's blowing a hoolie.
That onshore wind really was blowing us around. And I think Sarah got knocked off her feet a couple of times, and I think Oz was getting busted around. Well, the lighthouse island was closed, but we decided to see if we could get down to the bottom and just have a quick look. It was quite steep, so we didn't go that far, but it was windy. I just really wanted to get a closer look, see if I can have a look at those tidal flows. I'm hoping to paddle this North Stack and South Stack in the future, and Sue recommended just to again have a look and see what it was going to be like and see the tidal streams, and it definitely was worth the visit.
So we're at South Stack. It's a little bit breezy. I got you. Jesus, that is windy. That.
So windy.
That is super windy. Oswald. Oh my god, just getting out of the wind a little bit. Oh, it's so windy up here, and it looks like it's one of like the lookouts. That was this one. We've got a Scarborough.
From the old lookout we could see right up to North Stack, so that's where we were going to head next. So we went back to the car, had a cup of coffee, and then set off for North Stack. Yep, I have to put up with it. So we stopped at Country Park, which was in an old quarry. Now, the quarry was used to quarry stone for the Holyhead breakwater, which at that time was the longest in Europe, which was probably built around the 1846 mark. And these works here were kind of some of the tooling that was used there. So you could definitely tell we were out of the wind on this side of Holy Island. Off in the distance we could see the port of Holyhead and the breakwater, and also the ferries that were going out to Ireland. So we were so really close. As we climbed around the headland and got higher, the wind slowly started to pick up, and we're just like the other side. So by the time we got round to North Stack, the tide was starting to ebb, so it was going out. So you could quite clearly see the tidal currents actually pushing past the headland. We looked at it and there's quite a few standing waves. It looked quite gnarly out there, to be fair. To hit this on a spring tide, I bet that's going to be really hard if I was to sea kayak that. I don't think I'd be out on a day like today, but it did look fun. This is coming into Holyhead. Hi Oswald! Well, back to the van and our adventure continues. This time we're going to be heading to north of Anglesey. We're heading to a little gem called Porth Wen Brickworks. It's been on my bucket list for a while. So we're at the old brickworks. We've eventually finally got here. It is absolutely amazing and exactly what I thought it was going to be. So the brickworks was built around about 1850. It's like an old Victorian brickworks, and it's located up on the north coast of Anglesey. It was constructed initially to support the Welsh steel industry during the Victorian era. Most of the steel plants at that time needed a lot of huge furnaces, and to make the furnaces they needed bricks which were suitable enough to withstand higher temperatures and without any degrading. So the bricks were made from silica, which was quarried locally and then shipped to the plant. It was brought down the cliff in a kind of conveyor belt chute system which crushed it up as it went down each level till it got to the main plant. So the site's abandoned now, and it was in operation for around about 50 years. But the problem was that the site had one major issue, and that was transporting the bricks away, because Port Wen, whilst it had its own dock, it was surrounded by rocks in quite a rocky bay, and ships would be damaged when they were loading. So sadly, due to decline, it closed in 1949. When you walk around the site, it's amazing to see all the different bits and pieces of machinery and stuff. I get quite geeky when I'm looking at stuff like this, just to see how it used to be and how it is now. Like this furnace, yeah, you can see the burners and the heat exchangers in there. There's such a lot of stuff. So you can walk through the building still. They're quite a bit rickety, so you're taking your life into your hands. This was the boiler room. This is where the boilers would have sat. You can see the pipes coming out of the wall. There'd been a massive boiler sat in here, I would think. Don't know what I'm pointing out there, but I think it's like a feed for the boilers, maybe with a coal went in. So we're above where Sarah's head was. I think there may be that boiler there on the right there, which is falling to bits now. And that there. I think this sat up between these two pipes. You can see the joint on the side here. I think this was probably one side of the connection. There probably would have been another side in that connection there, and it would fit between those two pipes there. So that would be obviously producing steam for the site. I don't know if that's the make of the boiler, or is that someone's just done some artwork. I'm gonna have to look into that if someone could let me know. You can see how the sea's affected and taking its toll on the side of the walls into the site. So this chimney, I wonder how many times anybody's seen this chimney from up here. I wonder when was the last time it was chimney swept. We could see right down. I thought it'd be quite clever to have a look at that. It just looks like a scene from Star Wars. Someone said to me, wasn't sure if it'd been used on it, but it kind of looks futuristic, but not. The kilns look really, really like something you would see in Star Wars. Inside the kilns was quite cool. I think this is where they produce the bricks. I think people have been down to here into the other one. There's a few of them. I think people have just parted in these, and there's quite a lot of rubbish in there, which is sad to see. My little friends, the sheep there. Ozzy's little friends. Me and Sarah both really lucky on this one. Sarah almost never made it down because of her knee was hurting, but I'm so glad she managed to get down with just another little place that little gem that we found. Well, amazing. We pretty much had this place to ourselves, us and the sheep. Well, it was time to go home. Well, not go home, go to our next campsite. We've had a long day today, so we made our way back to the campsite. Well, what better after a day out exploring? Feed up, beer, and some lovely food. Well, after a cracking thunder and lightning storm overnight, we decided to pack the van up. It was time, all adventures come to an end. But nevertheless, we decided to visit a few places on the way home and make the most of the time we had left. So we just made it to Betws-y-Coed. Just thought we'd have a little stop here for a little bit. A little break on the way back home. Oh, what a morning. What a morning. I got told off this morning.
What a moaning.
What a morning. I got told off this morning. Usual thing. So yeah, Betws-y-Coed. Lovely little spot. I think the last time I came here was with Mum and Dad when I was really young. Must have been 14, 15. Try not to slip as I go down here. Yep, I'm going to slip on my backside as I go down here. Whee! Almost. A little bit. No, not at all. It's not at all slippy. So this is how Sarah takes photographs. Alice. Sarah doing a photography bit. Oh, I can't believe you fastened Oswald up. Oswald, are you fastened up, mate? Now I'm going to break my neck trying to get up these stairs. Yeah. Well, if you're a kayaker and you're in Wales, you can't not stop at Llangollen and have a look at the town falls. Luckily, we managed to catch a couple of kayakers who were going down. I think it was good for Sarah to see some bigger white water as well. Good experience to see that. Gotta admit, watching these guys doing the white water kayaking has got me thinking again, I'd love to get back into it. It's not somewhere I've ever paddled before. I think mainly my paddle's been concentrating on surf kayaking and paddleboard, but makes me look watching guys do it again. I think to myself, yeah, I might have to dig my white water boat out again and have a go somewhere. I'm not sure I'll go straight back on this though. These guys did really, really well. Well, back into the van. It was going to be our last stop on the way home, so I thought we'd stop at Pontycillte Aqueduct. So we're here at Pontycillte Viaduct. We're just going to have a little look around all these boats. I mean, the last time we came here, I think me and Kayaking came across. Ozzy had his what's-it, and a little photograph of him was over there somewhere, jumping in with his plums out. I shall show a photograph on the screen later on. So we're just going to try the curry cruiser. How crazy is that? It's like a little boat. It's got it's a barge. It's called the curry cruiser.
Indian street.
How cool. So it's all Indian street food. Well, it's lunchtime somewhere. It's lunchtime somewhere, so we might as well have a go. So the aqueduct is quite a feat of engineering. It was designed by Thomas Telford and William Jessup. They started building it in 1795 and it was finished in 1805. The idea of the aqueduct was to carry the Llangollen Canal over the River Dee. So the aqueduct itself stands about 38 metres above the River Dee, but the aqueduct itself is only about 1.6 metres deep. It's really weird how they've made it. It's kind of made of individual cast iron troughs. Now the troughs themselves are sealed. Each one is sealed with a mixture of like a Welsh flannel and white lead with some iron particles, and I do still think when they repair it, these are the sort of things they use today. It's really funny seeing the different craft going over the aqueduct. Today you don't only just get the canal boats going over, there's various other crafts like kayak and canoes and also paddleboards, but I think paddleboards are quite frowned upon going over because not allowing people to stand up on them for obvious reasons, because it's a long way to fall.